So, I've had the Nintendo Switch 2 for a little over a month now, and I think my personal verdict on this console is that, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's another Nintendo Switch, but, you know, better. I will say, like, I have not used new features such as Gameshare and Gamechat, which, yeah, I had a feeling I wasn't really gonna touch those. I mean, Gamechat, it's neat. It's neat from what I've seen because it is kind of Nintendo's own little Discord chat, which does work well. You know, it can have like 4 people on their cameras talking to each other. I think you can have like 8 or 12 people in a chat in total. Yeah, I mean that sounds neat if that's your thing. But yeah, I mean I'm mostly a solo gamer. The bulk of my time with the Switch 2 has been spent just playing games on my own, really. I've done a few live streams of Mario Kart World, just playing online or doing time trials. I was doing a bit of free roam on my own time as well, doing some grinding for unlocks. That was a time. And yeah, I mean that's kind of really all I needed the console to do, is just be the new Nintendo console that will play the new Nintendo games. The hardware itself, I mean, it sits on my desk just about as nicely as the original Switch did, but like, it's just bigger. When holding the actual device though, that's where, because like, if you were to mostly play this thing docked with like a Pro Controller, even a Switch 1 Pro Controller, which is what I'm currently doing because I don't have the Switch 2 Pro Controller like yet. But playing this thing docked with the original Switch Pro Controller, it just doesn't feel very new, you know? Like it just feels like, okay, I am playing an upgraded Switch, and that's kind of it. It's not that that's a bad thing, it's just not the most exciting thing. I mean, at the end of the day, this console is about the games, and at launch, what we have is Mario Kart World, which is a good game overall, and then alongside that are mostly ports. Now, I mean, granted, if you're primarily a Nintendo gamer and you haven't played any of these third-party games in recent time, then it's probably worth grabbing on this console. Though maybe not quote-unquote physically with the whole game key card debacle. I'm sure it's been... I mean, this has been beaten like a dead horse already, but yeah, the game key card thing kind of sucks. Those are not real physical games. They're just... they are game cards, but there's no game data on it, just like an authorization key that then prompts you to download the game from the eShop when you insert it into your console. Yeah, I'm personally not going to be picking up any of those. I'll probably just end like whenever there's like the big Nintendo game, I'm probably gonna end up picking that up physically just to save on storage space. I still don't have a microSD Express card, so that might prove to be a good route to take. Is just to grab these first-party Nintendo games physically. Even though Nintendo's been optimizing their file compression system, I guess, because Donkey Kong Bonanza, that was listed as a 10 gigabyte game, and it went down to 8.5. So they must they got some black magic going on in the background, I guess. But I guess another thing I want to note, which is like my console's current condition. So yes, it's been a little over a month, but I haven't like taken this thing out of the house at all. You know, I think the most travel I've done with this console is just take it to a different room in my house just to show a family member the console, and that's about it. Otherwise, like the times in which I decide to play the game in handheld mode is like, okay, I turn off my computer or I turn off my TV and I'm just gonna play this thing in bed. Or like, I don't know, maybe I'm rendering a video on my computer, my not so modern machine, and maybe I feel like playing a quick game for like a few minutes, so I just pick up the system and play it, you know? Yeah, it is a larger device than the original Switch, not so large to the point where it's unbearable, but I am gonna look into getting a console grip. I don't have one of those yet. So I'm looking into which one's gonna be good. It's like for a short like just like short play periods, it's not so bad to hold. But for longer periods of time, yeah, a grip would be nice. The screen, so in my Best Buy accessories video, I do show myself putting on a tempered glass screen protector. That thing's holding up well. I've basically been babying this thing, honestly. So, you know, there were I had no worries as to whether the screen would scratch, but I decided to just take the precautionary route and just put a screen protector on anyway. There's already a protective film on the screen itself when you take the console out of the box, but I just figured, let me just get the glass on, you know, let me just get this glass on and just keep this thing like actually like really safe, you know. I did also mention when I first unboxed the Switch 2 that the control sticks on the Joy-Con 2 controllers were like the smoothest thing I've ever felt, but I think that's because they were just brand new. They still feel fine, they still feel pretty smooth, but unfortunately the control stick technology in these controllers is actually the same as the ones in the original Switch Joy-Con, meaning they are susceptible to Joy-Con drift, and time will only tell whenever that happens. I really hope it doesn't, because these are like $95 controllers as a pair. I think I forgot their individual price, but yeah, they're probably like $50 each, which kind of sucks. I was thinking I'd use the Joy-Con 2 controllers almost exclusively for a month, but then I just decided to pick up my Pro Controller and just use that. It was feeling a lot nicer when I was playing like Yakuza 0 or Mario Kart. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of that. I do intend on getting the Switch 2 Pro Controller eventually. That thing is like sold out though, man. That's crazy. People, it didn't even matter that junk is like $85. Like, people are buying that up. Can't even find that sucker. But yeah, eventually I'll get the Gamecube controller for the Switch Online Gamecube Classics. And I guess on the topic of games, let's actually move on to games, because that's what really matters here at the end of the day. Yeah, so Mario Kart World, that's been I believe that's been my most played Switch 2 game. Yakuza 0 did take up quite a bit of my time, but I'm pretty sure I put over 50 hours into Mario Kart World just by itself, doing all sorts of things like all the Grand Prix, the Knockout Tours, free roam, online, unlocking junk. Like, yeah, it's definitely a big, substantial game. I do have a separate review video planned for that game. It should be up, like, I don't know, after this video, so I guess y'all can look forward to that. But yeah, Mario Kart World, it's been quite a bit of fun up until the recent, well, okay, Nintendo patched the online race mode so that the random select doesn't give you like the traditional tracks, because, you know, that was the way you were able to get the 3-lap races. It did put a damper on things, but I'd still say Mario Kart World is still an overall fun game. And then next is Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Yeah, this is I mean, this is my favorite game in the Yakuza series, Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. And yeah, I mostly played this game in like a combination of handheld and docked play. I was having a good time no matter what. The game really lends itself well to being on a handheld device. That's also mostly because this is like a 30-hour story. And there's a lot of other things to do in the game. There's a lot of side activities and sub-stories. You know, it's like an action RPG, and it just has a lot of other activities in it. And then the features for the Switch 2 for this game is like, the game just runs at a native 4K 60 FPS, which is like absurd. Although I'm pretty sure Yakuza 0 came out originally on the PS3, so probably not the most difficult task. And on top of that, the game also has like a few new story cutscenes. Like, those are like towards the end. I think there were like 3 or 4 new cutscenes, I forget. And they're like fully voiced too. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. And then, as you're probably seeing here, the game has a new online multiplayer mode called Red Light Raid. And it's a co-op thing where you team up with 3 other players and you beat up a bunch of thugs, going from like mission to mission under a time limit. It's some pretty neat beat 'em up action, especially considering the fact that you get to play as a lot of the boss characters in the game, which is actually kind of crazy. It's also the first time a Yakuza game has done something like this, so I thought this was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a human soul play this match online, play this game mode online, I should say. Yeah, it's like I keep getting paired with AI, so I don't know. Are any of y'all playing Yakuza 0 on Switch 2? Hit me up. I'm still trying to find people. Next, we have Fast Fusion. I picked up a downloadable game card of this from Best Buy during launch night. As a $15 game, man, it is pretty nice. This is pretty much like a graphical showcase for the Switch 2. It has a lot of graphical modes and a lot of fast racing, because of course that's what it is. No online multiplayer in this, but I'm kind of treating Mario Kart World as the online multiplayer racing game at the moment, so, I mean, I guess that's a thing. But Fast Fusion is some great music. It has this crazy mechanic where you can literally fuse the cars into a bunch of other cars. I think there's like over 200 combinations. And it's really insane. Like, the order in which you fuse the cars actually matters, because, you know, let's say you take car A and car B, and you fuse them together. Okay, great, now you dismantle them. Now you take car B and fuse it with car A, and you get a completely different car. It's like that. It's like, what the heck were these guys cooking? Man, that's... yeah, I do recommend this game if you have the Switch 2. That's a pretty easy pickup, really, at $15. And yeah, I spent quite a bit of time unlocking all the cups and the difficulties and all the cars. And they've been updating the game. They added a new graphical mode, the pure mode. They added some new tracks, which I believe are actually remakes of tracks from Fast RMX. But they seem pretty dang new to me. What with the they had to redesign some parts of it, because in the game you have like a jump button. So yeah, pretty good time. Pretty good time, I'd say. And then I've been playing a lot of the Nintendo Switch Online classic games. So this is actually the first time I've had the expansion pack service. So in addition to playing the GameCube games, like I played a bit of Wind Waker on stream, but I've also been playing a little bit of Soul Calibur 2 and F-Zero GX, which, by the way, that game was really showing just how friggin' sensitive my control stick was. Like, man. I hear that the GameCube games online do have like sort of a dead zone issue. Like, the control stick is like a lot more sensitive than like an actual GameCube controller, or like how it was on, or excuse me, how it was on the actual GameCube. So, you know, hopefully that's something Nintendo can fix, as well as the input delay. I think there's like 8 frames of input delay. I think there's some audio delay too. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but I will admit it's convenient. I mean, just to have all those classic games on the Switch 2, you know, just when you want to take this system wherever you want to go, and it's like you got all these classic games, you know, it's like aspects of the like the dead zone thing, the input lag thing. I don't think it'd be quite perceivable to the like general public, but those are things to just be wary of when going in. Like the emulation is not perfect, but it's passable at the moment. I just hope the Nintendo does address some of these issues. But as I said earlier, this is my first time with the expansion pack service, so I've also been dabbling with the N64 games. I've mostly been playing Zelda Ocarina of Time, but I've been trying a few other of the N64 games as well. On the Switch 2, you actually have access to a CRT filter, and you can rewind the N64 games. This is something you were not able to do on the Switch 1, so yeah, I was checking that out, and it's all hunky-dory. This is also the first time that I was using my my N64 Switch Online controller on like the actual like Nintendo hardware, because when they launched this service, I actually purchased the N64 controller, but I never got the expansion pack service. I just wanted the controller, because I figured, okay, maybe I could use this on PC with like a N64 emulator or something. And it was really difficult to get running on the PC, I gotta say. But Eventually I got that working, and the controller does work well here. I think, I would say out of all the Switch Online controllers, the N64 one is definitely worth it. Like, if you intend on playing these N64 controllers, like, it feels a lot more natural with the actual N64 controller, which maybe to like a youngin', you probably don't, like, you look at that controller, you're like, what is that thing? Like, that is the strangest controller you ever see in your life, but no, trust me, like, it's so natural because the games were designed with this controller in mind, so yeah. I definitely recommend picking this controller up if it's in stock. It's probably in stock for sure. I was also playing the Game Boy Advance games a bit. I played through Metroid Zero Mission. I tried out Mario Advance 4. I wanted to see if the e-reader levels were on, and they are, which is great. Because, yeah, back in the day, you had to scan cards into the e-reader, and, yeah, they get those levels, like, one by one on some freaking cards you get from GameStop. Oh, man, I lived through those times, but, yeah, it's nice to have that there. It's just nice to have these Game Boy Advance games here. They look very nice on the system, especially with the like, older look filter, or whatever it's called. Yeah. So that's all really nice. Finally, and this is like an aspect of the Switch 2 I was pretty excited about, and that is how Switch 1 games run. So of course, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both have a Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade, and so what that is a $10 patch that allows the game to run at a higher resolution and frame rate, and also grants it some extra features like, in these two games' case, the Zelda notes. I have not used the Zelda notes yet, and I've only been turning on Breath of the Wild just to record a little bit of footage, but I do intend on replaying Breath of the Wild with as it is now the Switch 2 edition. And eventually I'll pick up a copy of Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have that game yet, so I will get to it, and thankfully with the expansion pack service, I can download the Switch 2 upgrades at no additional cost. Or than paying for the blasted service, but you know. Another game I tried out was Splatoon 3, and yeah, Nintendo did give this game a free patch, and basically the hub areas now run in 60 frames, and the game is running at an upscaled 4K resolution. It looks absolutely stunning now. Like, my god. It makes me very hopeful for what a Splatoon 4 will look like, but in the meantime, we're getting Splatoon Raiders, which is like an entirely different Splatoon game. It's a spin-off. Pretty excited to hear whenever that comes out. Yeah, because considering what they did with Splatoon 3, I'm pretty hopeful for what's coming next. I'm definitely still rusty at this, but I'm still a Splatoon lover. Like, even if I haven't, I didn't put like a lot of time into Splatoon 3, but I'm kind of considering dabbling back into this, but I'm also trying to get back into some other stuff as well. So yeah. And then of course, when it comes to Switch 1 games getting a free patch to upgrade it, I mean, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is pretty much the headliner here. I mean, the stuff for Splatoon 3 is amazing, but Scarlet and Violet needed help. Like, oh my lord. The game ran terribly. I think it was like a 20 FPS game or something. I don't know. It had like a ton of glitches and pop-in. I mean, even on the Switch 2, it still has a lot of pop-in and some glitches, but this feels like almost an entirely different game, man. I'm definitely going to delete my current save and just start this one over. It's just, it's such a difference. Like, the game is not the thing. So here's the thing, right? The game is not like graphically the most amazing thing, but at the same time, like my guy, it's like, look at how smoothly it's running. Like, oh my god, this, and even like the other crazy thing is, like, you know, this is still one of the best-selling Pokemon games ever, even though it ran like trash. But people didn't care; they just wanted to play the new Pokemon game. But now, my boy, all right, now this game is looking mighty smooth. And I definitely fell off this game. I didn't really play I didn't play it too far at all, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely start this one over and give this game like a real fair shake, you know? And yeah, guys, I guess that about does it, really. That was pretty much my month with the Switch 2. I intended on spending more time with it, but then life kind of got in the way. I got a new job. More IRL stuff just kind of came up. I intended on spending more of the month playing the Switch 2 and doing more things, but yeah, you know, just life happens. It is what it is, but you know, it's all for the better. I guess I'll go ahead and answer the age-old question, should you go out and get a Nintendo Switch 2 if you have not already? Well, in my opinion, this console feels more like an early adopter system. It kind of feels like I'm beta testing this thing. Because, I mean, the thing is, it's nice, but, I mean, first of all, this thing has been compared to, like, PC handhelds, like, to death. Like, and I gotta say, that's not exactly a fair comparison because, yes, of course you're gonna get a lot more value if you go out and get, like, a Steam Deck, for example, or no, you order that online. You could get a ROG Ally at, like, Best Buy or something, but, no, like, yeah, if you get a handheld PC, of course you're gonna be able to get a lot of games for cheap and all that, and you'll be able to run like emulators and do all sorts of crazy things. But what this device needs to be treated as is a new Nintendo console. And granted, it's more of an iterative step forward than like an innovative one, even though the Switch itself is already it's been quite the innovation that's spawned other handhelds like it and kind of rung in this renaissance for like indie games. Like people are just like, oh, like they usually like get indie games like whatever system, but then it's like when the Switch came out, the original Switch, it's like everyone wanted their indie games on this thing because it was like a home console, it's also a handheld, and now this is just a better version of that. And that's really what you're buying into here. You're buying a better Switch. You're buying that long rumored Switch Pro, I guess. The amount of new experiences for the Switch 2 is pretty sparse. Like, yeah, Mario Kart World is here, and then there's Welcome Tour, which should have been a pack-in game. As literally everyone has said, I know. If that was at least pre-installed with the Switch 2, it would have made the launch a little nicer, you know? Just give people something give people sort of their Astro's Playroom to chew on before they decide to play Mario Kart, otherwise you're jumping right into that. And like the other thing is like Mario Kart World isn't everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people are waiting for like the new 3D Mario, or in this case, Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is actually coming out pretty soon as of the posting of this video. But yeah, I imagine a lot of Nintendo fans are waiting for that big single-player experience, which unfortunately did not launch on the day of the Switch 2. I feel like if the Switch 2 launched with Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Welcome Tour was a pack-in game, maybe that Drag X Drive game was also around at launch, I'd be like, hey, maybe go check this thing out. But otherwise, this console really is more for the diehard Nintendo fans. I'm a bit of a Nintendo fan myself, but I'm also not like super biased. Like, you know, I'm just telling you, like, this is what you're getting into, man. There's a more powerful Switch. There isn't much right now, but there will definitely be more later. Maybe in like, you know, you give it a year after its launch, there's gonna be a lot more, you know, a lot more to chew on. But I'm enjoying my time with it, at least with what little time I spent with it. And I will continue to play this console and do more live streams and all that junk. Hope you guys are along for the ride. I'll definitely be playing Donkey Kong Bonanza at launch, that is for sure. Amongst other games, Splatoon Raiders, Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, whatever's coming up. So yeah, I'm excited for the future, man. I'm really excited to see what Nintendo comes up with for the system, because you know, the futures of these Nintendo consoles, they could be pretty promising. And I guess on that topic, I'm fully expecting a new iteration of the Switch 2, like an OLED model, but that might be a couple years down the line, and I'm not getting any younger. Like, I'm trying to play these games now, so you know, I bought this console with the mentality that I am just securing my hardware right for the moment, you know. So I'm not going crazy trying to buy this online or try to catch like a little invite system or whatever. Like, I wanted to go down to the store and get this thing at launch. So that's what I did, and I got no regrets. I'm pretty happy with what I've got here and what I've got going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all things to come. And with that said, that'll do it for this video. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as I'll be posting more content on Nintendo Switch 2 and other gaming stuff whenever I have the time. Also, feel free to become a channel member so your name can be displayed here on screen, and maybe click that video on the left as YouTube thinks you'll like that one next.